Daniel Tulip is my name, and I'm glad to be here. For those of you who have never been to West Nile is there. Because I believe some of you will remain within Kampala and you will not reach West Nile. West Nile is a very beautiful land, bordering South Sudan and the DRC Congo. And that's where we are located, that's where we are based. And we've been doing a lot of our work from that side. One of the things that I am proud about saying is, I'm not ashamed to say this, because one thing I know, when it comes to issues around mental health, there's a way, mental illness has a way of clothing each one of us with a garment of shame, with a garment of despair, with a garment of rejection. And it takes boldness to remove those kinds of garments to be able to access services. And as a person, those are some of my books that I've written. I've been broken. 3.5 years, 100% of my salary has been taken by the financial institution. So I know what it means to be broken, yet you're a married man who must come home with something. After 80 heartbreaks, I sobered up. I thought I was a very handsome young man. But when I went through 8 painful heartbreaks, I sobered up. And I've been, our grandfather had 13 wives, so I know the pain of growing through a polygamous home where you are abandoned and you are rejected. First of all, I was rejected even right from the womb if I was born. So I was born through it, lived through it, struggled through it, and here I am. And I know what it means to go through hell on earth. But still, all said and done, life has to continue. That's why we are ardent mental health advocates, because we use our lived experiences without shame and guilt. Because one thing also, as a Christian, Bible reminds me, Psalms 107 verse 2, NIV says, let those who have been redeemed of the Lord tell their story. So I'm not ashamed to share some of these concepts around me. I brag a lot. You will bear with me that I'm one of the award-winning mental health advocates. And last year, Ministry of Health gave me that other one through the other time. And I began this organization called Voice of Restoration, where mental health is at the core of our work. And we've been doing this in communities. That's why we're doing community-based mental health and psychosocial support, because we want to see how to help our people. In Africa, mental health is a taboo topic for discussion in any community setting, be it in church, in the mosque, in the schools, place of work, or even in village meetings. It's a taboo. And this mentality has fueled a lot of stigma and discrimination in various forms, in homes, schools, churches, mosques, and workplaces. Mental health stigma is a negative attitude or idea about a mental health feature of a person or group of people. So here, it has to do with the social disapproval of the person or group based on their mental health features. And some of the examples of this include being rejected by peers, by friends, employees, or even family. Being denied equal participation in family life, community life, or employment. Being called using derogative terms. Being denied access to services, health care, and social support. Being denied human rights, such as the right to vote, and many other human rights that we know, because we've been there. Looking at that adolescent, this cannot seek for help and cannot access mental health services, because I have been there myself. As I said earlier, because we have those 5 different angles where this stigma comes. And because that person is stigmatized from all the 5 angles, it becomes very difficult. We have the societal stigma, the social stigma. We have the health practitioner stigma. I am very convinced many of us Ugandans who are here, you saw a clip on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter that was reading, Butabika is a fool running mad at your own cost. I'm sure you read that kind of clip on social media. And some of the people who were sharing that were the health practitioners. In fact, I had to attack some of them myself. I said, hey, boss, what are you doing? This is what, because that, first of all, the word even saying, run mad at your own cost, nobody wants to run mad. Indeed, our referral hospital was full. That was the reality. Now we have the associative stigma. If we have families where if a person has a mental illness, then when visitors come around, this person is either likely to be locked inside until the visitors leave, or the person is taken far away because of the association you have with this person. Yet this is your blood relative you have at home. We have the self-perceived stigma. Now this is where it is very tight. How do I go and access mental health services? What will people think about me? How do people see me if I go for these services? And the social stigma, this has to do with institutional stigma, which has to do with the laws, policies, and the things around there. So, because of that, I wanted him to read for me some things from my book, but time is not allowing. Having lived through this as a person, I'm much aware of the consequences of stigma, which is devastating. Because of stigma, there is delayed treatment, which increases social rejection, isolation, worse psychological well-being, poor understanding among friends and family, poor quality of life, disability, increased socio-economic burden, increase the feelings of shame and self-doubt, and may lead to death through suicide. That's why many teenagers, many adolescents have committed suicide. If we just sample through, I'm sure in our regions, we have been people who have expressed this. So what was here our aim? Why are we doing this? We've been trying to examine public and self-stigma and the attitudes among adolescents in accessing mental health services before and after introducing community-based mental health services in West Nile. That's why we are doing community-based mental health services. And what do we do? We've been carrying awareness and support programs through radios and community-based mental health services, introduced in churches, mosques, schools, because most of these teenagers are in churches and they're in the schools, they're in the mosques. And right now, if anybody asks me what is your religion, I have no religion because I go to all these places of worship, apart from the shrine, because there's no crowd. But if there was a crowd in the shrine, I would. But now what we are trying to do is we are trying to engage the doctors so that we need to give them this information around mental health, because there's something that they can't do. That's where we are. That's what we've been doing, engaging different schools, different communities, as long as we can find these teenagers because they need information. We've been doing these services, engaging. We don't segregate. We don't care whether you are a pagan, you are a Muslim, you are what we. As long as you are a person, you are a teenager, you are an adolescent, we must save. Why? First of all, because we've not done so much around here. West Nile is leading in drug abuse. Right now, we've improved. People keep discovering new drugs every day. In West Nile, we are now taking the dry scales of snakes. We are taking the gray hair of elders. We are competing with the cars in taking petrol. There is a new plant called Azangi, which is the latest. In that when you get the seed or the leaf of this plant and put it on your skin, you are within 10 minutes you are drunk. People are looking for fossils, and every day why are people doing this? Because there's a lot of hopelessness. It is not the only way they can find solace, because nobody is there to talk to them, nobody is there to support them. They are going through depression, nobody understands them. They are trying to reach out, nobody seems to care. So what else? Alcohol and the drug is taking root. That's why if you look at the alcohol report, West Nile is runners-up in the whole of this country, making Uganda to be number 8 in the whole world in alcohol consumption. And teenagers are the victims. So, After introducing these community-based mental health services and awareness and counseling programs, we are seeing that people are beginning to reach out for help. Most young people are coming out to seek for help, to seek for services, to get treatment, to get psychotherapy, and our health center force are overwhelmed because of numbers. In a period where we've been doing this as an organization, as a Voice of Restoration, in a period of 12 months, in 2023, we were able to reach 10,347 young people, ranging from 9 years to 21. Of course, we've been talking to them about issues of life, sharing our own experiences, how we struggle with life, but here we are today helping them to see life. And this year so far, we've engaged over 20,000 adolescents in 5 schools, 4 conversion projects, and 4 churches. And we are glad to other partners that are helping us to reach out to some of these communities. And the challenge that we see is we are a very young organization. We know the issues around funds and all that, but we are not giving up. We keep going. We keep engaging. We keep moving. What is our recommendation? Please, let's all create awareness. Let's help our young people. Let's open up spaces where they can be free to share. Because of stigma, many, even us who are here, because of time, I didn't want to read this, but let me just say something here. Even us who are here, because we are now the mature ones. My story has never been any different. It is sad you can't discuss your pains at your place of work with your friends and workmates. Let me leave that one. Many marriages and relationships are in the intensive care unit because we choose to suffer in silence. What will people say when I open up? So if us who are here, we are struggling at our level, how about those young ones? What am I saying? We need more sensitization, we need more awareness, we need to open up more, we need more awareness, we need more social support programs, we need to bring services nearer to our people as we break stigma. Merci beaucoup. Questions for me? Yeah. I can still be here as you ask. Please.
You can do only one question for each speaker. So you have one for Daniel? Or a different? Yeah.
And we are very sorry to have given a very short time. They are the books by Daniel, they are available outside there in case you need them. Yes. Okay, thank you. So now we have